It's a pet's life with Gym Dog, Ireland's first pet resort by Des the Vet. Managed by vets, loved by pets. Daycare, vet care, premium pet food and grooming. Visit at petslife.ie.
Ho, ho, ho. He's here. It is decked out in... Well, you're not wearing Christmas gear. You're wearing
No, it's not Christmas gear. It's just my normal scrubs.
Des
That's
Groom,
all, Dave.
happy Christmas from Gym
Thank
Dog.
you very much. And same to you, Dave. Great to be here.
Pet's life, yeah, absolutely. Love seeing you, my friend.
It's a wonderful pet's life.
We can go home now. We've peaked. We've done it. We've peaked very early.
Yeah.
We are inviting you to get in touch with us with any pet-related questions you may have for the main man here with me today. And if you would like to send in your pet's question, all you have to do is address it to the number here at KFM, 0833 97 97 97. So, Des, I do know we mentioned our theme today was going to tie in with the festive season and the subject of Christmas poisons.
Oh, Christmas poisons, yes. Isn't that very ominous?
Deadly.
So many of them out there.
Deadly. You see, you don't get my jokes.
Just at the moment when everyone is rejoicing and celebrating, we bring in the negative, the bad news. Yeah, because there can be bad news out there. There can be bad news for pets and pet owners on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve and Stephen's Day and New Year's Day if we're not just a little bit careful around what we let the dogs and cats have access to, around what we let them eat at this time of year, because our houses are full of all kinds of
temptations,
strange foods. Yeah, strange foods which we love, but some of which are toxic to our pets.
Which would be the deadliest?
Well, top of the list is probably dark chocolate. Yeah, so dark chocolate contains, and the darker it is, the more poisonous. So 70%, the ones that you see there on the shelves in Lidl that are 70% and 80% cocoa, they're very, very dark. They're quite toxic, particularly very small dogs, because a small amount can be toxic to a small dog, whereas a large dog would need to eat a lot of it.
But you know, the way humans are kind of advised, if you are going to have a little bit of chocolate, make sure it's a dark chocolate.
Yeah, well, dark chocolate is fine for us, but it contains theobromine, which is a liver toxin for dogs.
Ah.
Yeah, there you go. But look, so if they do eat it, we have to make them vomit and we have to put them on a drip to cleanse or detox their system for a little while. So chocolate's probably top of the list. And believe it or not also, though, the other common things that are definitely going to be on the counter and definitely going to be on the kitchen table, Christmas mince pies and Christmas pudding.
They're bad.
Yeah, now they're less toxic. And again, it's all relative. It's about how much they actually eat. But anything that contains grapes and dried fruits, so currants, raisins, sultanas, grapes, they're all mildly toxic in that if a dog did manage to happen to eat a lot of Christmas pudding or a good few mince pies, you could be in trouble. But, you know, maybe half a mince pie or a little bite here and there might be less. It's all relative.
We have to reinforce here, though, that when we're leaving out the carrots and the milk for the reindeer, that won't harm them. For Santi.
No, it won't harm the reindeer, and it'll surely disappear. Now,
Excellent.
as regards to Christmas dinner then, more items on the toxic poisons list. Would you believe the nicest stuffing that your granny could possibly make is probably the most toxic for your dog?
Oh,
there you go.
Bad news.
Yeah. And that's because, right, really good stuffing made the old-fashioned way contains onions, garlic, maybe leeks, maybe chives, maybe shallots, right? So those half a dozen cluster of ingredients are mildly toxic to dogs. When I say mildly toxic, they'll make the dog nauseous, shivering, shaking. They can cause a bit of inflammation to the liver. And the correct thing to do is induce vomiting. And probably, again, also it's relative. Depends on how much of it they've eaten. They might need a drip. So these are all serious enough. There's 10 items I've mentioned there. They would all require a trip to the vets, trip to the emergency veterinary service. Probably the vets would have to make the dog vomit, bring it up. Probably then would also have to give a drip for a while to detox. So prevention is better than cure in all those cases.
And Des, what about alcohol? Because just in case there are spillages, how would that affect
Yeah, alcohol is on the list too. Alcohol has the same effect on dogs as it does on humans. So a small amount, probably harmful. Probably harmless, right? Small amount, probably harmless. More of it would be harmful. Again, it's going to cause liver inflammation, nausea, ataxia, shaking. And the signs are probably transient. They probably would get over it. But again, if there was a lot involved, you'd have to bring the dog to the vets.
Yeah, but you know the little dogs now who will lick anything when it falls on the ground, and a little bit of alcohol could be big trouble.
They don't like it though. That's the only thing. That's the lucky thing.
Can we jump in with some questions while we're going over the poisons as well?
Do.
A lovely text in from Christina Wright in Maynooth. Happy Christmas to you, Christina. And it's about cat itching and scratching. And Christina tells us she has a cat. I have used Advantage Spot on monthly and putting olive oil on her ears, and she scratched the guts out of them really.
Yeah, scratching her ears, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other part of her body scratching? Itching anywhere else?
Yeah, she says her lower back above her tail, it's raw every time.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think?
You see, there's a couple of things going on there. There probably is an ear infection, and there probably is some type of an allergy or an infection in the skin. So, unfortunately, this listener has probably assumed that maybe it's ear mites, maybe it's fleas, maybe it's some creepy crawlies that the cat has, brought in from outside. But if the itching and scratching and irritation has persisted after the spot on has been given, then you don't have parasites. You have an infection in the ears and the skin. So I'd say, listener, you do definitely need to bring your cat to your vet and have it seen this week, because, as I say, if the Advantage hasn't done the trick and the scratching is persisting, then your cat is suffering, she is in discomfort, and she should see the vet. So that's a dermatitis and an ear infection, the two combined, I would say.
So, Christina, there you go. That's the right thing to do. Next up it says, Dave, we have a 14-year-old Glenavon Mal Terrier who has a dry cough each day, not constantly, but several coughs per day. Is it possible it's cardiac?
Yeah, it's possible it's cardiac. So one of the first... and the dog is 14 years of age. That's a big age for a Glenavon Mal Terrier in particular, because they don't tend to have that type of longevity usually. So obviously this dog has had a great life and has been really healthy up to this point in time, and it's fantastic that he's got to 14 and all he has now is a little cough. It could be cardiac, or you could have a type of a thing called what used to be called an old dog bronchitis, which is irritation and fibrosis and thickening in the lung area.
Phil Redmond wants to say, Happy Christmas, Des. Love your spot every week. How do I keep my dog calm over the holidays with so many visitors coming to the house?
Oh, yeah. Well, again, we revisit some of the things we talked about at Halloween. So NutriCalm is a really good product and will have a great effect in terms of a little bit of chilling out. Very severe cases, if there's separation anxiety or extreme noise phobia involved in this, with this dog, then there are better, stronger medical treatments that we can apply. There's a tablet called Mollypaxin is one, gabapentin is another. Then we have a really good SSRI, which is an anxiety tablet called Reconcile. So there's loads of options. Do talk to your vet today.
Okay, you know what's happening, Des? We're getting in pictures from a number of our listeners, actually of the dogs, curled up in their baskets, with the radio beside the dogs.
Beside the dog. Dog's having a listen.
Into us, I tell you.
Dog's having a listen. Yeah,
I love this one. Maura O'Shea says, how do I keep visiting children from chasing and grabbing my cat?
Oh, Janie Mac. Yeah. Hey, well, could you designate a particular room as the cat's sanctuary, the cat's haven, and give the cat his own space in his own place? And try and keep that door locked or closed. Let the cat have an old chill out in a private room.
It's his Christmas too.
Yeah. Give him a sweet to himself.
Imelda Keegan says, Happy Christmas, Des, and to you, Dave. I saw an article about clothing for dogs at the weekend. With the change in the weather, i.e. the more severe cold weather, would Des recommend buying any clothing for the pets?
Yeah, I used to think it was a step too far in terms of the humanisation and all the rest of it, but what I've noticed and observed in recent years is that if you get them used to it when they're young enough, they'll accept it, they'll enjoy it, and they'll appreciate it. So, not for a nice full-coated dog. Anything with a Bichon Frise type coat, no. They don't need a coat. Anything with a golden retriever style hair, they don't need a coat. No. But if you have a Chihuahua, Jack Russell, a Lurcher, a Whippet, a Greyhound type, so coats and jackets are a really good idea during the winter for them.
So maybe they'll get their little prezi from Santa as well.
Yeah.
Like
the fine coated ones, not the full coated dogs. No.
Tracy Taylor is in Newbridge and she wants to know, is it okay for my dog to miss a few walks over Christmas?
No.
Oh, you'd be on the bad list if you did that,
you
Tracy
would.
Taylor.
Yeah, my naughty list. The poor dog needs to have his routine. So do try to stick to your routine.
We have one here from Amy Doyle in Newbridge. It says, my daughter Emma Kate, she's age 7, Dave, can't wait for Santy and would love to get a pet gerbil for Christmas. What is the best setup we can get for a pet gerbil? There could be a few people like this.
Right. Yeah, go to Pet Mania or Maxi Zoo and have a really good chat to them there. There's a good bit involved now if you're a first-time gerbil owner, right? So quite a bit of kit involved that you'll need to buy. So I would say maybe this isn't the week to be taking on that project because there's a lot of work involved. You could put a promise there in place, an envelope with a little
IOU.
Yeah, a little IOU, a little promise in it, and maybe think about that in January.
Okay, we're having a party at the house, Dave, and I'm worried that the loud music will upset my dog. What can I do to help them? That's according to Sharon Cunningham, who wants to say Happy Christmas to you all.
Yeah, hello Sharon. You're quite correct. The noise and the guests and the disruption and the break-in routine might upset the dog. So the best thing for you to do is keep him in his safe space, in his safe place, in his own bed, and perhaps do call into your local vets and get a couple of calming products and have them in place before the party. And again, if your dog isn't particularly well socialised and social and there's going to be a lot of visitors to the house, do close the door in the utility room and keep him in his own safe space and safe place, safe room to himself for the evening.
I want to, just a couple more I want to get in, Des, but one thing that was brought to my attention when we were doing the weekend breakfast show was we had a couple of callers asking about the cat's neutering programme.
Oh yeah, good. Great. Okay, so that's ongoing in Kildare Vet Surgery. It's half price till the end of the year. If you don't get it done with us this week, what we'll do is you could contact Jackie, you could book it. Once there's a deposit or a prepayment and a reservation in place, we can extend it into January. The plan was to run that campaign from the autumn, from September to the 31st of December, and we were hoping we'd accomplish a lot in that time frame. But it has thankfully proven very popular, and the bookings are still coming in. And there are a lot of people out there with kittens that were born in the late summer, early autumn, and they're afraid of them, you see, breeding, coming into heat, and a fresh litter of puppies arriving in the spring, and they're anxious to get them spayed and neutered around about now. So we'll take bookings, we'll take reservations, we'll take deposits, and we'll do those spays and neuters in January if we don't get them done this week. So do book them with us, Kildare Vet Surgery, and you'll find more details on petslife.ie.
A wonderful listener by the name of Madeline over there in Newbridge. Madeline Moylan. Happy Christmas, Madeline, to you and all your family. She writes in to say, my little dog is hopping on his right leg. He will let you touch it. Would he have sprained it?
Yeah, he could have just sprained it. And how long is he hopping and limping like that? If it's only a couple of days, it might be a little sprain, and it might be okay to wait a day or so and see does it improve. If, however, after about 2 days, if that dog is still hopping, that definitely indicates to me and means to me a non-weight bearing lameness. So we categorise lameness on the degree of weight bearing, and we grade it 1 out of 5. If you're not too bad and it's only a mild little sprain, you'll probably be able to walk a little bit. But if it's more serious, you'll be hopping. So the fact that this dog is non-weight bearing and is hopping means unfortunately it might be serious. So do just wait a day or so, and if the dog isn't back putting full weight on the leg and nearly right as rain again by Wednesday or Thursday, then do bring him to the vets.
Right. Is there anything else now before we ask our little and finally question?
Yes. The last Christmas poison I need to mention is xylitol. Now, xylitol is on the packet. Yeah, if you look at a packet of chewing gum, xylitol with an X is top of the list. It's a type of a gum-based ingredient. It's in loads of sweets. All kinds of sweets have xylitol, and they're highly toxic if they have xylitol. Now, highly toxic. That dog definitely will need to go on a drip if he's eaten a few sweets or a few chewing gums with xylitol.
That has that, okay.
Yeah.
There you go, watch out for that.
Plan of action if that happens, right, and it's holiday time. There will only be one on-call service probably in the whole county, and that's the My Night Vet people.
Check them out.
Yep.
And finally...
Yes?
Your favourite Christmas song, Des Groom?
Oh, Last Christmas, Wham, George Michael and Andrew.
It's going to be number one.
Yeah.
It's number one. I just
Again?
Well, no, you see, it didn't get to number one. It was held
Originally,
off.
did it
Yeah,
not?
No.
Was it Do You Know It's Christmas was there instead,
That's
was it?
Bang on in
That's
1984. But
Yeah.
they're looking, and I've just had a text in from my friends over in the UK. It's still at number one at the moment today on Tuesday.
Well, I'm delighted.
So,
Yeah.
my little Christmas cracker, Des Groom, from Jim Dog. A very happy Christmas to you and all the gang. And thank you so much for a wonderful Pet's Life this morning.
Thanks, Dave. It's great.
It's a pet's life with Jim Dog, Ireland's first pet resort by Des the Vet. Managed by vets, loved by pets. Daycare, vet care, premium pet food and grooming. Visit at petslife.ie.